Inhale, hinge forward, exhale down. Inhale, exhale, roll up. And one more time. Inhale, hinge forward, exhale, come down. Inhale, exhale up. And then tuning into your body, the alignment of your body. Good. Let's make our transition down to the mat. So we take a step forward, we take the feet a little bit wider. As usual, I'm coming through a deep squat, so feel free to make your own way down to the mat if the deep squat's not for you. I'd hate for you to come down and all of a sudden the knees aren't feeling great or the back's not great. So by all means, choose your own options, but I'm going to take my arms up and take a deep breath in. I scoot the belly in, and then exhale, I sink. And then I'm going to take my left hand back today, followed by right, and nice and gently ease myself down to the mat. Good. So today, we're going to take the legs straight out. So we're going to start with the abdominals and a little bit of flexibility today. So the legs are out. I like to keep my feet hip width apart, so this way I'm not inclined to roll my legs in, so it maintains my posture. And the spine is up nice and upright. So if you struggle with this, or if you already feel your spine collapsing back, what I recommend you do is you bend your knees a little bit. So feel free to have a knee bend for this exercise. You'll still get the benefits through the abdominal work, and it's better to have your spine upright. But otherwise, we take a deep breath in, we hold. Exhale, we're going to tip back. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tip back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. I'm going to take my arms up. So just making sure you're not arching the back to do that. And then exhale, tip back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale, lift. This time, exhale, I'm going to fold forward. So just let your hands land where they're comfortable. Empty the lungs. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, tip back. Inhale, up. Exhale, tip forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, tip back. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, coming forward. And just hold here for 2 more breaths. Good, coming up. And exhale, release. Well done. All right, I'm going to come down to my back now. So I'm bringing my toes just to one side. This is so that I can turn and see you side onto the screen. And I do recommend you do this. It's just a little bit nicer on the neck than trying to see by always looking up if you're going back. So we're here. We're going to come down to the mat slowly. So lucky our last exercise has given us a little bit of a practice at this. Again, any back issues, you are welcome to bend your knees and roll down this way. But otherwise, I'm going to take my arms up and take a deep breath in. Exhale, I come a little way back. Again, inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. And this time I'm coming all the way down. Take a deep breath in. 5 counts to long. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, the hands are coming out. We're aligning our posture again. I will do this a little quicker to get to our base posture. So I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to place my feet nice and close to my hips and hip width apart. Trying not to turn my toes out or in. So the feet are centered. And I do recommend you press a little weight into the feet. So pressing weight into the feet actually helps you engage your core and keeps the legs active. So we're here. And then from here, I'm going to activate and align my pelvis and my hips. So from here, I'm just going to keep tipping the hips forward and back until I feel the small of my back come in contact with the mat. So we want to do this without pressing, so without hollowing out the center of the body. So just a light connection to the mat. And this brings us to our neutral spine position. So in this position, we get the most effective deeper core activation. So let's do that now. So we're tuning to hip bones. We're going to visualize the line going from one hip bone to the other. And then we scoop the belly in behind the line. So remember when you scoop that we're not sucking the belly in, so we're not compressing the ribs. We're maintaining this lateral gap through the waist. So we're going to take that light scoop and we are breathing. So make sure you do keep breathing. And then once I feel like I've got that connection, and it's just a light anchoring through the center of the body, I'm going to take my hands by sides with my palms up. And I'm going to see if I can feel the back of my shoulders relax to the mat. If you're very tight in your shoulders, it might be difficult if your hands are by sides. So if this is you, take your hands a little bit wider. And then I'm going to do my very best, although I'll probably keep looking at you. But when I can, I'm going to try to align my nose with my navel and take a soft tuck in the chin. Not so much that my neck muscles tense, so I want to keep these muscles nice and relaxed, but just to bring the upper part of my spine into alignment. So base posture, let's start by breathing. So we take a deep breath in, exhale, and again, inhale, and exhale. So I'm going to start with the lower body, which I like to do. So we're starting with some leg slides. So this is a nice way to test the core. So what we're testing is that we're able to anchor and hold our torso still while we move the legs. So it's really about the stillness in the body rather than the leg movement. So let's see if we can focus on the middle of the body as we do this. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, I'm going to slide my right leg out as far as I can, keeping my back down and my hips steady and on the mat. And then inhale, I slide in. Other side, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good again. Inhale. Exhale. And what I'm going to do now is start to add the upper body. So I take an exhale, I slide the leg out and I curl up. Notice I lift my arms too. And then inhale, I lower while keeping my back down. So there is a little catch. This keeps the core engaged. Exhale. Inhale, I lower. My core is engaged, my back stays down. Again. Inhale, I lower. Exhale, lift. And I'll do a few just with my hands supporting my head, which you can do. But just make sure you're not pushing the head with the hands. So my hands aren't doing any work whatsoever. It's all in my core. let's do a couple more each side. And relax. Good. Just give the head a little shake, the body a little break. All right, so the next one I'm going to give you a few options for. So the final option is a little advanced, but feel free to modify by keeping your legs a little closer. So we're going to do some toe taps today. So the toe tap, again, the aim is to keep the spine down. So we're not so much concerned about the leg movement. We're concerned about maintaining neutral spine and our core activation. So it's really important we have that scoop in through the belly and that our back doesn't leave the mat. So I'll start with the modified version with my feet here. So I take a deep breath in. Exhale, I'm going to tap my right foot down. Inhale. Exhale, left leg. Inhale. Exhale, right. Inhale. Exhale, left. So keep going with this movement. If you need a more modified version, so if you struggle to keep your legs at a 90-degree position, what I recommend you do is keep the back down, keep the feet down rather, and lift up the legs this way. So you're going to inhale lift, exhale lower, inhale lift, exhale lower. And this might be your option today. So this might be quite challenging for you, especially when you're thinking about maintaining your spine position. So for those of us who want a little bit more challenge today, I'm actually going to bring my legs to a 45-degree position. And if you're in this position with me, you'll already feel that there's a lot of load on the core. So we need to be able to hold this position and keep the back down. So if, straight away, that's the first test. If your back is already up, you've got this big gap, I do recommend you modify the exercise. So remember, it's all about the quality of the movement. It is not about hitting those advanced options straight away. So my legs are going to be 45, and I'm going to tap the toes down this way. So I take a deep breath in. Exhale, I tap. Inhale up. Exhale, tap. So you can feel there's quite a lot more load on the core with this exercise. So making sure every repetition is staying true to the exercise. You're holding your spine in place. You have those deeper core muscles active. And I'm going to do one more each side. Good. And I release. Okay. Let's change the focus. So this time we're going to focus on obliques. So these are the muscles through the waist, as we know from previous weeks. And this time I am actually going to take my hands behind the head. So there needs to be a little awareness in what the upper body is doing. The way I try and gauge this to stop myself from pulling on the neck is I try to make sure that my elbows stay outside of my peripheral vision. So if the elbows are back, this helps to move from the waist. Otherwise, what tends to happen is we pull them in around the temples and we start pulling on the neck. So if suddenly your elbows are really covering your vision, do recommend you pushing back a little bit. So my hands are here. I take a deep breath in. I'm going to take my armpit to the opposite hip. So let's go left to right. Doesn't matter. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So now we're going to start to bring in the opposite leg. So a bit of coordination for you. So when I place the foot down, there is a little emphasis on putting weight in the feet and keeping the feet hip width apart. So hip width apart on that landing down. And now I'm going to give you a more advanced exercise. So you can feel free to stay with the movement we were doing. Otherwise, you can come to this version. So we bend the knees and we're still going to take the opposite shoulder or armpit towards the knee. But this time I'm going to extend the other leg. So I'm turning to my bent knee. Inhale, lower. Exhale, turn. Inhale, lower. Exhale, turn. Good, my elbows, I'm trying to keep them back. I'm not putting strain on my shoulders by pushing too far, but I am not using my arms to lift through the head. So you want to really think of the muscles through the center of the body, drawing you up. And I'm going to try some of the percussive breath like this, double pops. Into the other side. Four more. And release. So I've got one more challenge for you here, and this is to make that percussive breath single time. So you can do it with just the upper body if you choose, but I'm going to use my legs. Take a deep breath in. Let's go side to side. So if your feet are down, you're still using the breath. Keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ha! That was a bit mean, that 10 count. All right, I'm coming on to my side now. So we're going to do a little bit of work through the hips and the legs today. I'm going to lift my body into this position. So I'm going to take my elbow under shoulder and I'm pressing into my palm. So this takes the pressure off the shoulder. We want to make sure we don't lift and get lazy in our hand and tip into the elbow. I'm going to tuck my bottom leg under today and keep this top leg up. And I'm going to lift up through the side of the body. So this is really key to keeping your core active. So we're lifting up so that we're not slouching into the mat and putting the load onto the lower back. So we're lifting up, we're scooping the belly, and we're going to draw the shoulders back and down. So you can place this hand wherever you're comfortable. It might be just on the waist, or maybe if you've got longer arms than me, maybe you can place your hand down here. So I flex my top foot, I maintain this position, I take a deep breath in, and I exhale, lift my top leg. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So I'm trying to work the outer part of my glute. So these are muscles through the buttocks. So it's those smaller outer muscles we're trying to target, and we're doing this without moving the hips. So we're trying to maintain this lift. I'm not rocking my torso at all. Sometimes it takes a few reps. If I do a few reps and I'm still not feeling anything, it might mean you have quite inactive glutes. So if that's you and you're lifting up and down and maybe you're just feeling a bit of thigh and a bit through the hip, the front of the hip, So what I recommend you do is just give these muscles through the buttocks just a little tap. So what this does, it gets the neurons firing. So this helps your muscle, it wakes it up. So it's a little trick to get those muscles firing again. And we've probably done lots of these, so I'm just going to do 2 more. And then I'm going to hold this leg up. And I'm going to take little circles. So just breathing just in your own way. You might inhale forward, exhale back, or do 1 circle on an in breath, 1 circle on an out breath. And notice when I circle, I don't move my upper body at all. So that's actually the exercise. It's being able to do this very, very controlled movement without bouncing. So if you're all of a sudden moving quite a lot through the center of the body, work on this core activation. So it's about that scoop through the belly. Good, maybe just a couple more this direction. And because we're having so much fun here, we're going to try a few going the other way. So just little circles. Good, I don't want to get too much into my hip flexor, so that's the front of the hip. So I'm going to make my circles just a little bit smaller to help that. Good. So much fun. And I'll relax. Whew. Good. While we're here, let's do a little bit for the obliques. So I'm holding my position. I'm going to plant this top leg down this time. I'm going to take an inhale. And then exhale, I'm going to lift my hips off the mat as high as I can. Inhale, I lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, I lower. Exhale, I lift. Good. So this, believe it or not, is the more moderate version. So if you're feeling super energetic today, which I'm sure is all of us, you can actually do another version of this. So what I'm going to do is stack my feet. So hopefully this goes well. And then I exhale, I lift. Inhale, I lower. Exhale, I lift. Inhale, I lower. Exhale, lift. And let's just do 3 more of these. And relax. Might need to give your shoulders a little shake after that. All right, I'm going to spin my body around to the other side. So hopefully that's what you do, just to try and stay facing your screen, so it's a little bit nicer on your neck. All right, I'm taking my elbow down and I'm planting my hand down. I'm going to bend my bottom knee, and I will plant my top foot down for now. Now remember, the most important part of this exercise is to get the lift through the waist. So whenever you feel yourself starting to drop, remind yourself to switch on that deeper core by scooping the belly in. We do want to work on keeping the shoulders back and the chin in a little. But the hand can be wherever you feel comfortable. So here if you want a little bit more support, and your arms can comfortably touch the ground without slouching your shoulders. So let's wake up the glutes on the other side. So remember, it's the smaller outer muscles through the buttocks that we want to fire. So let's see if we can get them switching on. So inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, so I'm keeping my foot flexed and centered. So I don't want to turn the foot out. Otherwise, this will actually alter how you target the muscles in the legs. So we want to make sure that we are getting into the glutes, so the muscles in the buttocks, not the front of the hip. And you might find that one side's a little lazier than the other. So you might find maybe on the other side you did a couple of these and you got those muscles firing, but maybe you're up to a few reps now and you still can't feel much. So remember that little test. or that little cheetah's way to activate is to just give the muscles a little tap and a little wake up. Good. Let's keep going. Just a couple more times. Good, and then we're going to keep the leg up and we take our little circles. So I'm going to start circling forward. It doesn't really matter as long as you do both ways. So just keeping that very, very little circles, going in a forward motion. I'm not moving my upper body at all, so I'm maintaining this gap through the waist. I'm keep drawing away from the ground. I'm not bouncing at all. In fact, the exercise is about, again, stillness in the body. The movement's very subtle. And if we try and make really big circles, we actually lose the activation. Glutes are a very temperamental muscle, so what tends to happen when we go for too great a movement, they realize that, oh, I don't need to work as hard. Sorry, I'm going to go the other way. So let's circle. And when muscles are weak or a bit lazy, they tend to switch off and rely on a lot more dominant and stronger muscles. So often with these sort of exercises, it is the hip or the quads, the front of the thigh. So if you're feeling that, maybe just take a little break and come back to it. Or you can practice relaxing your hips, which takes a bit of practice. Or you can again wake those glutes up. Good. And relax. All right, so now we're going to go for that oblique exercise. So I'm keeping my body position. I'm just going to check. I did get a little lazy there. Did you see I started to slouch? So I'm going to lift up again and switch my core on. So we take a deep breath in. I press into my hand a little. Exhale, I'm going to lift up. Inhale, I lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale. So feel free to keep going with this, but if you did want to go to the more advanced version, we're going to stack the feet. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Whoops, lost my balance. Exhale. Happens to all of us. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more to go. And let it go. Good. Let's come on to our belly. So the focus is the back of the body. We're going to continue with a little bit more glute work today. So because I'm going to focus on my lower body, I'm just going to stack my palms one on top of the other so that it creates a little pillow for my head. And this way, when my head does go down, which I know I do cheat and look to see what you're doing, but when my head goes down, this will take my nose off the mat, so it's not really a nice sensation pushing your nose into your mat. But we just want to rest our hands and have the neck in line at the same time. So we're just checking posture again. So I have the tops of my feet in contact with the mat. If you have really tight calves and they're cramping, I don't recommend you hold that. So you might feel better flexing your feet. The most important thing is that your legs are centered. So just feel through the thighs, make sure the ankles aren't rotating, and come to center with the legs. Now we want to very much today focus on pressing the pelvis into the mat. So this is going to ensure that we actually use our glute strength to do the exercise. If our hips lift off the mat, chances are we're going to use a lot more lower back and hamstrings, which are generally tighter muscles in the body anyway. So we want to strengthen the weaker, release those tighter muscles to create that muscle balance. All right, so be conscious of the hips.
We still want to scoop the belly, and we're going to relax because I can already feel my neck tensing. So we're going to relax the shoulder blades down the back and work on holding space from the ear to the shoulder. So this is going to relax the neck. And hopefully, yes, please, once you get the exercise, have your head down. But yeah, I will look at you from time to time. So we're just going to start with a nice simple leg lift. So we take a deep breath in. Exhale, I'm going to scoop the belly. And then inhale, I lift my right leg. So I'm going to lift up. It's not a high lift. I'm not lifting my hip off the floor because otherwise I lose the exercise. So my pelvis is down, my leg lifts, and then I lower on the exhale. Inhale, lift left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, lower. So just keep alternating. And I recommend with this exercise, less is more. So if we try and do a really, really big exercise, we actually make it easier. So it actually takes a lot more work to our muscles to have a very controlled range. So we're not going super high. In fact, if we stay a bit lower, chances are we'll get a lot better glute activation compared to if we try and take the feet really high. So you might be doing this and you might find that your glutes do need a bit of strength work. So this might be challenging enough for you. But otherwise, I'm going to start to go into a double leg movement. So I'm going to inhale, lift both my feet up, and then exhale, I'm going to lower down. Inhale, I lift, exhale, I lower. So I'm just going to keep doing this just in time. I'm not actually getting a lot of lower back exercise or activation with this. And the reason for that is I'm really focusing on my glutes. So I'm focusing on keeping my pelvis down. And I'm trying to get the muscles through the buttocks to do the work. So this is why it really stops me overcompensating by lifting through my lower back. And often people that feel a lot of lower back tightness, that's generally what's happening. We often have very weak glutes and not so much, and very tight lower backs. So let's just do a couple more. Good. All right, let's work the upper body. So today the focus is going to be on posture. So I'm actually going to start with my hands forward. Try to keep your elbows as close to the ground as you can. What tends to happen with this, so we're going to be sliding the arms back and then forward. So what tends to happen if the elbows lift is we get this rounding through the shoulder. So this creates neck tightness. And chances are if it's happening, you're already quite tight through the neck already. So we're going to work on keeping that down, keeping the release through the neck muscles so we can work these postural muscles between the shoulder blades. So the hands are going to be forward. You can play around whether your palms are down or they want to face in. Just do what feels comfortable for you. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to exhale, scoop my belly in. And then inhale, I'm going to slide up. So I am going to lift my chest just a little. So I am getting a little bit of lower back. And then I exhale, I lower. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. I might do a few just with my palms facing in just to see what the difference is. Not a lot of difference. It might just feel a bit more comfortable on my arms. So a couple more times. And relax. Good. I'm going to take hands by side, your left ear to the mat, and just take a few deep breaths here. So deep breath in, and exhale. And one more time. Inhale. exhale. Good. And from here, I'm going to take hands under shoulders. I'm going to exhale, I'm going to push up. So from here, I'm going to bring my knees in. So they're coming underneath the hips, and the hands are on the shoulders, and I take a little release here. Few deep breaths. And coming to neutral. So we're going to stay here for a moment. So in this position, the most important thing is that we don't let our back dip. So when we dip, this basically is telling us that our core is not activating. So we want to make sure that we're drawing up, so drawing the ribs in a little, drawing the belly in, scooping the belly in. And we want nice and equal weight through our arms and our legs. So from here, I'm going to tuck through the toes. So there's a few points to this movement. So I'm actually going to take an inhale, and I'm going to round my spine just a little. So I'm going to tuck it, the chin in. And then exhale, I'm going to lift my knees off the mat. Inhale, I lower. Exhale, I come just to neutral. So I'm not arching my back. So that's a very subtle movement. So it's going to take good awareness to be able to come to this neutral spine position. So inhale. Exhale, lift knees. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, neutral. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Good. So now I'll let you sit back in shell stretch, which we probably should have done a bit earlier. So the knees are going to go wider, the hands forward, and we sit as close to the heels as we're comfortable. So if you're not comfortable sitting on your heels like me, it's okay to have the hips up. But if you're struggling to get your head down, what I recommend you do is stack one fist on top of the other and just let the head relax. So a few deep breaths. And relax. Good. Coming back to hands and knees today. So we're going to focus a little bit on the glutes. So I'm going to give you 3 different ways to do this exercise, so each one with a little bit more intensity. So we want nice equal weight through the hands, through the legs, and check that your feet and your knees are hip width apart. So that probably the hardest thing is coming back to that position. What we find with our body is the body doesn't necessarily, have our good intentions in mind. It doesn't care if our core gets stronger. But what happens is the body is very clever at finding easier way to do things. So you'll find over time that your knees will sneak closer and closer together because it's easier. It takes less core strength to keep the knees and to keep the body within that center of gravity. So if we challenge it by staying apart, it means the core muscles have to get a bit stronger. So that's what we're going to try and do. So we take a deep breath in. On the exhale, I'm going to lift my right leg, and it's just going to level with my hips. So I'm not going higher. I'm not trying to kick into my lower back. And then inhale, I lower. And then I go to the other side. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So you can feel free to stay with this version. But if you'd like something a little more challenging, what you can do is take the legs out a little further. So see how my hips are just slightly lower, but they haven't dropped below my shoulders. So I'm using the core, and I'm lifting the legs from here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So as you may have guessed, and I did promise you one more version. So I'm going to tuck the toes and I'm coming to this position. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, so a lot more upper body strength here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Good, keep going. Let's do 4 more. And relax. Good, so you can sit back into shoulder stretch if you like. And there you go. We might finish, so it has been a bit of the theme of the class, with a bit more hip and glute work. So I'll see how I go. I'll face you to start with, but I might turn side on if that is better. So we're going to set our feet so they're hip width apart, and remember to press weight into the feet. So pressing weight keeps the leg active. It also helps to keep our core engaged. I'm going to take my hands about a hand's distance from my body, and I'm working hard to keep my spine in alignment. So I'm going to try to make sure that I don't slouch and collapse here. So lifting up tall. Now, we want to make sure we're going to lift the hips just slightly off the mat. So we're going to hold this position. If you have to sit down, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. The focus is more on the leg movement rather than keeping the hips up. But you can play with lifting them, lowering them, and just see what works for you. So I'm going to take my right leg out, so it's your right leg, and I'm going to lift my hips, and I'm going to lift the leg up. So let's exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. So keep going. I'm just going to turn side on. So lifting here, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. One more time, exhale, inhale. So from here we're going to start, so you can take a little break, give the hands a little shake. So this time we're going to make a U shape with the legs. So place the feet down. So I'm going to start up. My leg's going to go down and out on the exhale, and then down and in on the inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. 2 more times. Exhale, inhale, keeping the body still, so you want to make sure you're not rocking or bouncing. And inhale. And relax. Whew. Guess what? Yes, we have to do the other side. So let's extend that leg out, shall we? So I don't know how you went with keeping the hips off the floor. Remember, it's quite okay to sit whenever you need to. So feel free to really play around and get this working for you. A little bit in the knees might be necessary for those that are a little tight in the hamstrings. So we're going to draw the shoulders back and down. We're resetting our posture. I'm going to hover my hips, but you don't have to. And I'm going to just make sure my other foot's not getting lazy. So it's not too close, it's not turning out. So you do need to pay a little attention to the other leg. So lifting up and inhale, exhale up. Inhale, lower, exhale up. Inhale, lower, exhale up. And again, I'm going to turn side on, so just keep doing what you're doing.
let's do 4 of these. And just take a little breather, and let's do our little leg scoop exercise. Are you ready? Drawing back, hover the hips if you'd like to. We're going to start with the leg up, take an inhale, exhale, we go out and down, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Remember, you can put the hips down on the mat if you need to, which is just as nasty, really. And I lost count, so I'm going to do 2 more. Relax, good. Let's take the legs out, let's just have a little bit of a shake around. And just take a stretch. So if you want to really let go, you might bend your knees and hug underneath the thighs and come down this way. And just let the head tuck. Oh. And release, now bringing the feet in. And hold the ankles or the shins, lift up to the spine, and exhale, sink. So you can either place the elbows on the thighs and press gently. If you want to, you can have the hands forward and fold here. Just taking a little release here, really. And slowly coming up. Relax. Good. Let's make our transition up to standing. So hopefully you're going to join me for the deep squat. If not, I'll see you on the other side. All right, so we're coming into our feet. We release the left hand followed by right. We take a deep breath in and scoop the belly. Exhale, push up. Good. All right, coming onto the mat. And let's, again, just quickly move through our posture alignment. It is important to visit this each session. We often don't take a lot of time to consciously think about how we're standing. And it is the thing that makes the biggest difference, especially when it comes to balancing your muscle groups, holding yourself efficiently so that you're not draining all your energy just from poor posture. And it also gets us thinking about these core muscles. When these core muscles, the aim is to actually get them automatically firing. But until they're at a stage where they're functioning in that way that is possible, so until we're used to them, until we've conditioned them, we have to go through this process consciously. So let's start with the feet. So again, feel your weight through your feet. Make sure that it's not turning out or in, so that we have nice alignment through the ankles, knees and hips. We're then going to soften the knees, make sure that we're grounding through the legs. We're going to tune to the pelvis, so we're making sure that it's neutral, so it's not sitting back or forward, so we're tipping the hips forward and back. And then we're going to bring our spine into this position where we're stacked through the vertebrae. So hopefully if your hips are in the middle, it's come there. So now let's switch on the deeper core. So we're tuning to where your hip bones are. You're visualizing that line going from one hip bone to the other. And you're scooping your belly in behind the line. So we're doing this without any spine movement. So very subtle, we are still breathing. Good. And then I'm going to let my hands come by sides. I'm going to make sure the palms of my hands are facing into my body, so that I'm not rounding through my shoulders. And then I'm going to tune to my head and my neck. And I'm just going to check that this is within my center of gravity and that there's no load or tension through my neck. So if the head's centered, hopefully that's what you're feeling. You're not feeling too much sensation through the neck muscles. All right, let's find our posture. Let's feel ourselves in the body. Be quite conscious of the different areas of the body. Tune in. There might be an area that you find you skip over. So maybe you don't have good connection with. And it's good just to notice that. So a lot of this process is about noticing. And it really is a first step to creating change. So tuning in. And love the breath. So we take a deep breath in. Exhale, side breath out. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And now let's go through our spinal roll. So we breathe in. We scoot the belly in and we're going to hinge the weight a little to the toes. And then we exhale, we lower down. Take an inhale at bottom. Exhale, we roll up. And again, inhale. Remember there's that little hinge forward to activate the core. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And let's try it one more time. Inhale. Hinge forward. Exhale. And today we're just going to hold here. So you're going to take 3 breaths here. So you can bend your knees if you need to. Just let the neck and the head go. And just notice the range, notice the sensations in the body. And then on your exhale, we roll all the way up to the top. And just tune in. How did you go at coming back to your Pilates posture? So you want to tune to the feet, the knees, the hips, the core, the shoulders. And just tune into whether you're becoming more aware of this posture. And thank you for joining me. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Geelong's Gym. It'll just make accessing these videos a lot easier. You can like these videos, you can comment, but thank you once again for joining me.